नमस्कार। और आज अष्टमी के दिन आपको बहुत बहुत मुबारक, बहुत बहुत बधाई। माता आप सबका कल्याण करे। I was asked to speak on the topic of applicable laws, including sector-specific laws. I was just thinking that whole of the day you will be listening to very learned speakers, and I'm sure the list I was going through, a lot of learned people have already spoken on this topic. Secretarial audit, which acts, which act not, and I don't think I have better knowledge than them to explain this subject. Then, when I was minutely going to the letters of the topic, applicable laws including sector-specific laws. So I was just thinking, what is sector-specific law, that from where this particular term has come. And when I was listening to Mr. Murli and Mr. Nisar, the argument, the term was coming industry-specific laws. So I thought, let me analyze what exactly law says, from where these terms are coming, and whether these terms are really relevant, and whether we should look into these while doing the secretarial audit or getting the secretarial audit conducted. So when I went through the applicable things, the first thing which I analyzed was clause 49, because I am sitting in listed company, which says, board shall periodically review compliance report of all laws applicable to the company. It is not the industry, it is not the sector, it is not specific. The word is all applicable law. So if I am Hero MotoCorp Limited, whatever is applicable on Hero MotoCorp Limited, that the board is supposed to review periodically. Whether it is important, not important, good, bad, ugly, relevant, not relevant, obsolete, but yes, has to be reviewed, looked into. Then I read section 205, which talks about the responsibility of company secretary, which again says that company secretary will report, and amongst other things it says other laws applicable to the company. Besides the Companies Act and the other things, other laws applicable to the company. Again, there is no limit. Again, it is not that industry or sector has come into picture. So, other laws applicable. Then, I went to section 134, which again talks about the directors had devised proper system to ensure compliance. It's ensuring compliance with the provisions of all applicable laws. Now it has forgotten even the company. All applicable laws and their character and their image and their responsibility includes not only the company but the people who are involved with the company. They are supposed to look after their interest also. So somewhere the laws applicable to them are also coming in picture. So for this particular interpretation is concerned. And then it says that the system is adequate and operating effectively. It means they have to go deep into the system and find out that it is really working. And then I went to the secretarial auditor's point of view, which again talks that where this secretarial audit is required and then what it's supposed to contain, the MR3, which talks about 5 main laws, and then this says other laws as may be applicable specifically to the company. Then I thought, let me find out what is specifically applicable to my company. So I went through the complete list of laws. And every law I tried to see whether it is applicable specifically to my company or it is applicable to somebody else also. If it is applicable to somebody else also, then it is a general law. If it is applicable just to my company, specifically to my company, then I am relevant. And then I thought, I am an automobile company. Vehicle Act, which is specific to motor vehicle, may be applicable to me. And then when I was going through that, then I saw that it is applicable to all kinds of automobiles, not only to two-wheeler, which is my company. It's applicable even to those fellows who are trading in automobile. It's applicable to even those drivers which are driving the automobile. Individual which has the driving license, it's applicable to everybody. And where is this? Where it is specifically to my company. Then I thought there is an ambiguity. And on this ambiguity, everybody is struggling, that's why we all are here. Why even the institute is conducting programs, deliberating on the issues, getting information from various company secretaries, contacting the ministry, because neither the ministry nor the institute nor members who are sitting in the company nor who are going to do the secretarial audit is clear what is to be audited. Everybody is in confusion. Because one says all laws applicable to the company, other says all laws, somebody says specific to the company, and और मजेदार चीज आपको दिखाता हूं. Yes, the draft of the report itself. You read the first paragraph, which says, I have conducted the secretarial audit of the compliance of applicable statutory provisions and adherence to good corporate practices by so-and-so company. It's not talking about statutory provisions applicable to that company or statutory provisions applicable to that sector. It's just clean plan. Applicable statutory provisions. It means whatever is applicable to that company, I'm supposed to look into that. And I'm certifying that as a secretarial auditor. Then where it talks about those 5 laws, again it says secretarial report on all laws as may be applicable specifically to the company. Again it is not industry or the sector. And another paragraph. Report that there are adequate systems and processes in the company commensurate with the size and operations of the company to monitor and ensure compliance with applicable laws, rules, regulations and guidelines. Again, it is not limiting anything here. So if there is no limit prescribed by the law anywhere, can anybody else prescribe that limit? Will that limit hold good? Even if institute give the directions and give the guidance that okay, there are certain laws which you can comply today and maybe it will be acceptable to the government, who knows that it will be acceptable? What is the guarantee that tomorrow the court will not say sorry? You go and talk to your institute. And unfortunately, the draft which is given by the government itself under the rules, that itself is ambiguous. So we have to take very cautious view while giving report and getting the secretarial audit done. Then I thought, okay, let me just go back and see why this secretarial audit and why this compliance of law and why this particular concept has become so important. So what purpose it is serving? And whether with this secretarial audit that purpose will get served. One by one I analyzed everything. And first I thought, what is the intention of the government? What is their interest? The interest of the government was good governance, from where this has come. And that's why a few years back, when clause 49 was introduced, one of the clause in clause 49 was that the board will look into the compliance of all laws and risk management. And that's why they explained a lot of things in clause 49 and they insisted on the board that you will look into all these compliances and while giving a report on corporate governance, you will say specifically, yes, you have taken care of that also. It's a different thing whether it has made some difference or not, but yes, in my opinion, clause 49 has made a lot of difference in listed companies. If you see the situation before the introduction of clause 49 and see the situation after the introduction of clause 49, there is sea change. The mindset has changed of the employers, the industrialists. The board, they have started thinking in different way. So there is an improvement. And because the government saw the improvement there, maybe they have thought in their wisdom that okay, because clause 49 is applicable only on listed companies, why not bring this particular provision in the law, in the act itself, so that it becomes applicable on all companies, and all companies, the board then will take care of the compliance of all laws, because that is the minimum which under the good governance you can do. Then I thought, whether it is only the government which is interested, or somebody else also. Then analyze the position of the directors. If you read the act, and at different places you read what is the responsibility of the directors, then you will find that practically every director in one way or the other have been made responsible to ensure that companies comply with all laws. Somewhere it is talking about under the responsibility statement, where they are giving that statement. In the code of conduct of the directors, they are giving responsibility to the independent directors. They are giving that responsibility to audit committee under their role. So one way or the other. And besides that, the executive directors who are looking to the affairs of the company, they are in any case are responsible for everything. So the whole board, as an entity and as an individual director, is responsible for compliances. So they have an interest in these compliances, plus that somebody will guide them and assure them that yes, the compliances are taking place. So how that assurance will come? Today that assurance is coming because they are asking the company secretary to give a certificate that company is complying with all laws. Company secretary, because he don't comply with all laws, so what he is doing? Normally he is taking back-to-back certificates from all other divisional heads, departmental heads. So they are giving a certificate. And let me tell you, neither the company secretary nor these divisional heads who are giving the certificate know exactly whether the law has been complied with or not. Nobody reads it, what is written in that certificate. Format आया, format sign किया, दे दिया, board में रखो. Board is happy when it comes before them, yes, there is a certificate. So whether getting that certificate is really serving the purpose? In my opinion, no. Then who else? Some of the companies, they say, okay, let's get this specific audit done, may not be company as a whole, but a particular department. So they are getting audit done in a particular department to see whether that particular department is complying with all relevant laws. So that is one assurance. So it may be by way of internal audit or through a specific audit. And then this opportunity came when the government has asked the company secretaries to do a secretarial audit. This is an opportunity for the company secretaries to get some remuneration out of it and to get livelihood out of it. But at the same time, this is an opportunity for the board of directors to get a good assurance from a professional that yes, my company is doing something right. So the interest of directors is being served. And then the company. No company want to stop their work because ultimately if they will work, they will earn. And if they are not complying, they are facing problem day and night. Today you violate something, you may not get impacted. Tomorrow a particular politician is not happy with you, he will send an inspector, go and see their such and such record. So the company want hassle-free working. No problem. Let me concentrate on my production, let me concentrate on my marketing, let me concentrate on my business. Compliance of law is a secondary thing for me. It should not become a primary thing for me. So they want that kind of thing. If that is required, then this particular audit will give another opportunity. Yes, I will take care of it by guiding you that what you are doing is whether right or wrong, whether it is complete or incomplete, so that you can concentrate on your work and on your business. Every director, the company, they are worried about their image. Today, if the company does something wrong, an individual director may not be penalized for that. Law may not penalize him. But the moment a media report comes, the so-and-so company has done something which is wrong, or the plant has been sealed because they were violating the provisions of the Pollution Act. And a friend of the director will certainly ask her, you were also the director of that company, no? So one particular sentence for a good director who has image in the society is enough. Then, looking into all these intentions of these fellows, interest of these fellows, of these entities, one thing which comes in common is that the company comply with all laws applicable to that company. The duty of the auditor or scrutinizer, it is very easy. Like the view some of us are taking that there is a format of report, I will sign that report, give to the company, I will look into those 5 acts or maybe a few acts. But then what I am doing a statutory duty only. Is that enough? Will it give what is required as a company secretary in practice, what it will give to you? Maybe a few thousand or few lakhs rupees as fees today. And that fees and that money is available only so long the law feels that it is really relevant, and tomorrow the industry body are not coming to the government and saying what bloody purpose it has served. You are seeing the situation of the cost audit. Why the Institute of Cost Audit, the cost accountant is struggling for the role? Because the purpose which the cost audit should have served has not served. Industry has approached the government saying that what purpose it is serving. एक unnecessary का आपने हमारे ऊपर एक ऑडिट बिठा दिया है, वो आगे रिपोर्ट दे जाता है, मैं उसको बोर्ड में रख के अप्रूव कर देता हूँ, उससे ज़्यादा क्या हो रहा है? And that particular institute and that particular sector of the profession is going down. Do we want that? If we don't want that, then we have to create value. We have to show some strength and some value addition which help the companies, which help the professionals, and which take care of the interest of all those entities who are interested in this. If we don't do that, I don't think it will serve a big purpose. Unless until you give comfort to the directors who are looking into it because they are responsible under the law, and look the situation of the company secretary who is sitting there. I am also giving a certificate every day in every board meeting. Though based on the back-to-back certificate which I am getting. But am I really helping with that exercise? I also need an assurance from somebody that okay, I have seen this thing with my own eyes and I am happy with this. And if he is happy, I can understand, okay, I am putting 2 professionals, one a company secretary is sitting in the company, another who is assisting him from outside by way of secretary or auditor. If these 2 gentlemen, 2 minds, 2 professionals put together cannot create value in a company, I don't think then we need this. The secretary or auditor is not required. So with this background, what we do and what we have done in our organization, I will explain to you. When this law came, in the first quarter itself, I thought, okay, let's appoint the secretary auditor. I was listening the other day that some of the companies have not appointed the secretarial auditor even till date. I don't know what they want from the secretarial auditor. Because if you really want to do the secretarial audit, it is not an affair of 1 or 2 days or 1 or 2 weeks. You have to spend months and months. And particularly when the company is big, particularly when the company is multi-product company, particularly when the company is multi-locational company. You have to go deep in everything and find out time for that. So it means you need a lot of time. So we appointed the secretarial auditor in the first quarter itself. But at that time, one problem which was being faced with by me as well as the secretarial auditor was, what should be the terms? Because the institute was not clear, even today it is not clear. The professional body, nobody knew how much work it will have, so what fees to be charged? Neither me nor the secretarial auditor know what need to be audited. So what to do? Then we mutually decided that okay, maybe the law says something, maybe the institute will take some particular view, but I as a company want to take a different view which may or may not match with the views of the institute of the government. I want my company to be looked into very thoroughly so far the compliances are concerned. So I want you to go through each and every law which I am complying as a company. Look into that. It may be a big job for you, it may be a full year job for you, but you have to do it. Maybe in the first year you have to put a lot of efforts, next year you may have to put very less effort. With this, you will not only look into the system which I am following, but you will look into each and every compliance. And through that then you will come to know the system which I am following, whether those are correct or I need to modify the system. So you will get the idea of both compliances as well as my systems. And that will give comfort to my board because they have to comment on the systems also. Then question came about the fees. How to settle the fees? And I said, okay, you believe me and I believe you. You put in your efforts, we'll decide the fees at the end of the year when you will submit your report. You will be doing my audit sitting in my office. I know what efforts you are putting. And if I am satisfied with your efforts, so whatever efforts you are putting, you then multiply it with your rate, whatever rate you feel that a professional should get, and I'll get you that fees. So I passed a resolution mentioning this, that the fees will be decided by the board at the end of the job. So no fees was decided in advance. And then I asked him, you start your job today. Don't wait for the institute to bring out a guidance note or the government to give clarity on what is to be audited. So he started his job. The first idea was that, okay, I want you to submit a report every quarter so that I can place before the board and tell them this is what's going on. But unfortunately that couldn't happen in the beginning. But he was briefing me from time to time what he has already seen and what he is yet to see and how he is doing it. He started with the first thing with the secretarial department itself. Because unless until he knows what has been done during the year in the company, what he will audit? How does he know that that particular event was having some impact on some compliance? So it means he has to see what has been done by the company throughout the year. So he went through the complete minutes of all committees as well as the board. He went through the complete major transactions which have taken place during the year. Because those transactions may have some impact of some law. And like that, once he conceptualized that, okay, the company has done these 200 things in the year, then he analyzed that, okay, on these 200 things, what are the laws which could be applicable? And then he tried to see whether those laws have been complied with. So starting from the secretarial department, looking into all these events, then he planned and went to each and every department that, okay, this particular thing belongs to your department. In my opinion, these are the things which need to be looked into. You must have looked into. Maybe there are something more which I don't know because he is not expert in all laws. He is a company secretary. May not be knowing the specific laws on that which are applicable on that particular transaction or that particular event. So that particular department or that individual who is responsible for doing that, he was writing him, okay, we have done this complete thing like that. This is the application which we have filed with RBI. This is the particular approval we have taken from such and such department. This is the return which we have filed with such and such department. Like that, each and everything was being explained to him by those individuals. And he was making note of that. And once he has that idea, then he could apply his mind also. That, okay, if this is relevant, when he is looking into the law, okay, if this is relevant, this could also be relevant. So let me see whether they have done this. So like that, each and every act he is going through. The complete system which I have in the organization, we have a software for e-compliance, which gives practically most of the laws which are applicable on our company. So even through the complete system, how that system is working, how a particular compliance which is, when it is done, how it is being reported in that system. It gives not only that it is complied on a particular date, but it gives that what was the real compliance. So that particular document is also attached and scanned and attached in the system itself. What is that provision under which this compliance has been made? The system itself is talking about that this is under such and such rule. So you can see that rule, that okay, under that rule whether this is the particular thing which is required or it is something else. So like that he is going through the complete thing. And once he is ready with the complete report, then he will present it before the audit committee first. Because in our case, audit committee goes through each and every report very thoroughly. I am sure when he will report to the audit committee, they will take a few hours to go through his report. And they will counter question him how you have seen it and why you have not seen the other things. Because there may be certain things in their mind which today he is not imagining. So like that, the work is going on. The work is still under progress, not yet complete. So this is what we are doing in Hero MotoCorp. And though I don't believe that the idea that these specific laws which are applicable to a particular industries, that should be looked into. I'm sorry, I'm not with that idea. In my opinion, all laws which are applicable on me are supposed to be looked into. Some of the important laws which I'm specifically looking into, and some of the important things have been given in the slides which are there, and I don't think I need to go deep into each and everything, though I'm not expert also. The environment protection, you see, Mr. Murli raised this question very well, that whether the water pollution is applicable on automobile or water pollution is applicable on some other industry also. And to me, what is applicable? You see, I have to look into from the importance point of view. Where my directors are feeling pinch every day. Labor laws, everybody says these are general laws. And let me tell you, in most of the companies, particularly automobile, where the contract labor is sometimes 60% or 70%, वो गले की फांस बने हुए because the contract labor laws are difficult to comply with. There are so many restrictions, and if you really want to comply with that, you cannot run your organization. You cannot run your business. So on the one hand, मेरे लिए वो इतना इम्पोर्टेंट है कि मेरी पूरी मैनेजमेंट उसको संभालने में लगी हुई है और दूसरी तरफ वो जनरल लॉ में उसको देखने की जरूरत नहीं है. Because it is not specifically applicable on me. ट्रेड यूनियन है, अगर आप एक्ट को पढ़ो, कंपनी के लिए कुछ कंप्लाई करने की जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि उसमें ऐसा कोई प्रोविजन नहीं है जो कंपनी को कंप्लाई करना है. बड़ा सेफली मैं ये कह सकता हूं मेरी कंपनी पे एप्लीकेबल भी नहीं है, पर मेरी कंपनी में ट्रेड यूनियन तो है. वो ट्रेड यूनियन तो हर रोज कुछ ना कुछ उल्टा सीधा करती है. क्या वो जो उल्टा सीधा करती है वो विद इन लॉ कर रही है, नहीं कर रही है, क्या मुझे वो नहीं देखना है. Am I not supposed to look into that? Similarly, the pollution control, every third day, whenever there is a politician who is not happy with you, he will send a team of pollution, from pollution control department, go to such and such factory and seal it. The instructions are sealed. वो इंस्पेक्टर आएगा, वो आपकी बाउंड्री के बाहर आने को देखेगा और कंपनी को सील कर देगा. अब आप उसको पूछिए वैसा क्यों नहीं, बोले जो सीएम साहब से बात करो या लेबर मिनिस्टर से बात करो या एनवायरमेंट मिनिस्टर से बात करो. ना तो उसको पता है कि क्या लॉ वायलेट किया, क्या लॉ वायलेट किया, ना एज ए कंपनी मुझे पता है कि क्या लॉ वायलेट कर दिया मैंने, और अब मैं ढूंढ रहा हूं किताबों में कि हुआ क्या. And this is a general law, not applicable on me, because it's not a specific law which is applicable on me. मेरी फैक्ट्री सील हुई पड़ी है, लेकिन वो लॉ मेरे ऊपर स्पेसिफिक नहीं है, तो इसलिए मुझे उसको देखने की जरूरत नहीं है. So the important law which I feel must be looked into by a company like mine. These are the laws. Water pollution, air pollution, hazardous waste management. सही मायने में अगर देखा जाए ऑटोमोबाइल इंडस्ट्री में hazardous waste है क्या? But one thing let me tell you, this is one of the act which is very serious और इसको comply करने के लिए जान निकल जाती है. छोटा सा पेंट करते हैं, उसका स्लज निकलता है, स्लज को कहां डालें, उसका क्या करें समझ में नहीं आता है.
So इसमें clarifications भी ज्यादा नहीं है.
Yes.
If we have any queries, we don't have certain panels where we.
You see, ma'am, let me tell you, on any law there is no clarification. Under the Companies Act, if you are facing some problem, you ask the ministry, you ask the ROC, he will say, I will not give my view. It is you who have to interpret it. He will not tell you the solution of that. आप ढूंढिए, आपका काम है. तो किसी भी लॉ में कोई आपको क्लैरिफिकेशन कहीं नहीं मिलेगी, वो तो आपको ही ढूंढनी है. तो जब वो आपको ही ढूंढनी है तो बेटर ये है ना कि उसको ऐसे ढूंढने लगता है कि वो कोई प्रॉब्लम ना आए. आज हम फिर फेंस पे खड़े क्यों हो जाए? आज अगर हम फेंस पे खड़े हो जाएंगे, जब भी वो नेगेटिव होगा तो हम तो फंसी गए ना. तो कम से कम आज तो थोड़ा सा फेंस से हटके खड़े हो. Storage, cylinder. Let me tell you a very good example of this. Gas cylinder rules. I was going through the compliances under gas cylinder rule. हालांकि बहुत ज्यादा हमारे यूज नहीं होते, लेकिन कहीं वेल्डिंग में कुछ गैसेस यूज होती है. कुछ गैसेस ऐसी होती है जो आप जो डिस्पेंसरी में यूज करते हो. तो जो ये इंडस्ट्रियल गैसेस जो आती हैं, जो यूज होती हैं, तो when I was going through the compliances of this, so and vis-a-vis when I asked in a specific audit which I got done, I asked the person to go and check. So he came back and with some observations. So I asked the concerned department कि ये तो इसमें आप कंप्लाई नहीं कर रहे हो, क्योंकि वन ऑफ द रिक्वायरमेंट वाज कि वो जो आपके पास सिलेंडर है वो एक पर्टिकुलर टाइप से पेंट होंगे, उनके ऊपर एक पर्टिकुलर टाइप की मार्किंग होगी. So it was not being done. So when I asked the people why it is not being done, the operational people came back and they said it's not possible. I said why it's not possible? This is सिलेंडर खाली होता है, वो ले जाता है, दूसरा जो छोड़ के जाता है उसके ऊपर मार्किंग कब तक करते रहेंगे? वो फिर बिना मार्क का आ जाता है, वो फिर किसी और पेंट का आ जाता है. और मेरे यहाँ तो हर रोज सिलेंडर चेंज हो रहे हैं. या तो वही हो कि मेरे सिलेंडर ही मेरे पास वापस आ रहे हो, या मेरे सिलेंडर जो यहाँ रखे हो यही उसको फिल करके जा रहा हूँ, which is not the case. So every time a new cylinder comes with a different paint and different marking, तो मैं हर रोज इसको कैसे करूँ? It's not possible. So it was a very good excuse कि ये नहीं हो सकता है. And everybody, including the top person who looks after all my plants, the operation chief, he says, no, it's not possible, we can't do it. And it was very easy for the management also to say कि यार जो चीज फिजिकल नहीं है उसको क्या किस लिए करना. बड़ा आसान तरीका था. I would have also accepted that, but I said no, sorry. If law has been made, it is a law. We have to comply with this. You may have to put an extra cost on this. Every time when a cylinder comes, if it is with different paint, you have to paint it. आपको पेंट का पैसा खर्च करना पड़ेगा, आपको मार्किंग का पैसा खर्च करना पड़ेगा, आपको मैन पावर लगानी पड़ेगी. That's the cost. I don't deny this. But if to comply a law, a company has to put some cost. It has to that cost, or accept it as a board, not as an individual. I will not allow you to accept it as a managing director or as a chief of the operations. Take it to the board, let the board decide that yes, we will accept it. Let it be a conscious decision of the board. And when I put my foot down on this, they say नहीं board के पास तो नहीं जा सकते. It's very difficult. Board को क्या बोलेंगे कि इसको क्यों नहीं कर रहे? And things fall in line. Now every cylinder is properly marked, properly painted.
सर कवर नहीं लगा सकते हैं, जैसे एसी कवर लगता है या बाकी दूसरे.
You read the act if it is possible, sir. You please do it.
वेल्डिंग कटिंग मशीन लगाते हो तो उससे एक्सप्लोसिव नहीं होता, आग लग जाती है. अब पार्लियामेंट हाउस में
petroleum, I'll give a small example of petroleum. Many a times when you look into the law, what is to be complied with, and I really pity on the company secretaries and their compliance officers also. आप वही तो compliance देखोगे ना जो law में लिखी हुई है. आप सेक्शन पढ़ते हो, रूल पढ़ते हो, क्लॉज पढ़ते हो, वहां से देखते हो कि ये कंप्लाई करना था, ये कंप्लाई कर दिया या नहीं कर दिया, वो आप रिकॉर्ड में देखोगे, उससे बियॉन्ड आप नहीं जा सकते। कंपनी को नॉन कंप्लायंस कहां से पता चलती है? When some inspection takes place, somebody point out that you have violated here. उससे पहले कंपनी को भी पता नहीं चल रही। और जो इंस्पेक्शन होती है और वहां से जो ढूंढ के लाता है, आप एक्ट पढ़ने लगो, आपको एक्ट में कहीं नहीं मिलेगा। Sometimes it happens. I was boasting that हमारे यहाँ पे बहुत बढ़िया सिस्टम हमने डेवलप कर रखे हैं, सभी लोग ध्यान देते हैं कंप्लायंस पे। इसके बावजूद भी एक इंस्पेक्शन हुई और उसमें 17-18 पॉइंट। And one of the point was very peculiar, and I was really worried that how to now take care of this kind of things. The inspector pointed out, it was under the safety norms, the inspector pointed out that at a place where they have store of petrol, हमें क्योंकि वो व्हीकल टेस्ट करते हैं मैन्युफैक्चर करने के बाद, तो उसके लिए थोड़ा सा पेट्रोल की जरूरत पड़ती है, तो हमारे वहां पे पेट्रोल का स्टोरेज टैंक होता है। इंस्पेक्टर आया स्टोरेज टैंक की विसिनिटी में, जैसे जहां पे स्टोरेज टैंक है उसके आसपास उसको एक कील मिली, नेल। इट्स अ वायलेशन ऑफ लॉ, सेफ्टी नॉर्म्स का वायलेशन है। क्यों जी? ये नेल तो लोहे की है और फ्रिक्शन होकर आग लग सकती है। दैट वाज द ऑब्जर्वेशन इन द इंस्पेक्शन रिपोर्ट। अब अगर मैं लॉ पढ़ने लगूं और उसके रूल्स पढ़ने लगूं, मुझे कहां मिलेगा कि वहां पे नेल नहीं होनी चाहिए? और एज ए कंपनी सेक्रेटरी, सेक्रेटरियल ऑडिट जब मैं करने जाऊंगा, क्या मैं वहां नेल ढूंढता फिरूंगा? इट इज रियली डिफिकल्ट। ऑन दी वन हैंड इट इज रियली डिफिकल्ट, बट स्टिल वी हैव टू पुट इन समथिंग कि जितना कम से कम लॉ में लिखा है, जितना देख सकते हैं उतना तो देख लें।
आपको पता चल जाएगा कौन से मार्क निकल
सर उसके लिए बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ती है, लेकिन काफी हद तक पता चल जाता है। मे नॉट बी 100%, बट यू कैन रीच अप टू 90-95%. But after putting a lot of efforts, maybe it may not be, you may not get it in 1 or 2 months. You have to put. When I did this exercise, I put a complete law firm with various kinds of exposure and experience and knowledge, which worked for I think more than 8-9 months, where I came to a conclusion that okay, these are the acts applicable or these are the laws applicable on me.
These are the probable activities.
Yes, probable. Boiler Act, Motor Vehicle Act, प्लास्टिक बैग्स। सही मायनों में देखा जाए, मैं ऑटोमोबाइल बनाता हूँ, प्लास्टिक बैग का मुझे क्या करना है? क्योंकि मेरे यहाँ भी स्पेयर पार्ट में एक प्लास्टिक बैग यूज होता है। आई रिमेंबर जब दिल्ली ने प्लास्टिक बैग को बैन किया, द फर्स्ट क्वेरी केम टू मी, सर हम क्या करें? क्योंकि हमारे कंपोनेंट तो प्लास्टिक बैग में पहले डलते हैं, उसी के ऊपर कुछ मार्किंग होती है, उसके बाद वो पैकेट में डलते हैं, फिर जाते हैं। सो वेदर वी कैन यूज इट और नॉट। तो मुझे इसको एक्ट को पढ़ने में और उसको इंटरप्रेट करने में और उसकी क्लैरिटी लेने में दुनिया भर का टाइम लग गया। तब तक मैंने इनको कहा कि चलो तब तक चलते रहो, तब मैं बताऊंगा। देन वी चेंज सर्टेन थिंग्स। ई-वेस्ट, द अदर डे व्हेन आई वाज रीडिंग दिस ई-वेस्ट, तो मुझे कुछ बहुत ज्यादा कुछ लगा नहीं सकते में कहीं हमें कुछ कंप्लाई करना है। वो बाद में पता चला कि वो जो बैटरी यूज करते हैं उसका डिस्पोजल जो होता है वो इस पे आएगा। लेबर लॉस, it is a challenge, but the company which you are auditing, they must have that system to check those things also. क्योंकि देखिए मैंने अपने यहाँ पे जो कंप्लायंस सिस्टम बनाया वो ये सोच के नहीं बनाया कि आप ऑडिट करने आ रहे हो। मैंने ये सोच के बनाया कि मेरी कंपनी को ये कंप्लाई करना है क्योंकि मेरे ऊपर एप्लीकेबल है और मेरे डायरेक्टर्स के लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल है। तो मैंने वो सोच के अपने यहाँ सिस्टम बनाया। तो अगर वो मेरे यहाँ सिस्टम है तो व्हेन यू एज अ कंपनी सेक्रेटरी यू आर कमिंग टू ऑडिट माय थिंग्स, सो यू आर लुकिंग इनटू ऑल दोस सिस्टम्स, यू आर सपोज्ड टू लुक इनटू ऑल दोस सिस्टम्स, सो यू विल कम टू नो सर्टेन थिंग्स व्हिच आर नॉट डॉक्यूमेंटेड इन द लॉ बट स्टिल दीज आर देयर। Beyond that, I don't think, then you have to use your brain or maybe some other sources. ESI, PF, apprenticeship, contract labor, minimum wages, Factories Act, payment of gratuity Act. Let me tell you, in most of the cases, we have field offices across the country. And in those field offices, The manpower which is sitting there, very small number because they are only those fellows from marketing department who liaise with the dealers. तो थोड़ा सा staff होता है. And this complete staff is on the roll of the head office. So every record of theirs is in head office. उनका सैलरी यहीं पे है, सब कुछ यहीं पे. तो मैं बड़ा खुश होता हूँ कि इनकी जो कंप्लायंसेस भी हेड ऑफिस में करनी है.
आपकी इंपॉर्टेंस बढ़.
तो सर उसका वहां से अगर इतने में भी काम चल जाता है डेफिनेटली. A few years back, I got a notice in one particular office that you have not pasted a sort of, I think some disclosure is to be pasted about the name and address or contact detail of the person who is employer for this premises. I said, यार employer तो हम यहाँ पे हैं, तो यहाँ पे तो लगा रखा है, जैसे नहीं यहाँ होना चाहिए. तो हमने उनको बड़ी उस टाइम छोड़े होकर बोल दिया ठीक है यहाँ पे employer का नाम लिख के लगा दो. जब उन्होंने लगाया next day that person was called के देखो जी हमने लगा दिया. इसे क्या लगाया आपने? This name and address is of Delhi. But who's employer here? He said, there is no employer here. Why it can't be? You see our law there, local law. There has to be an employer. And then he showed them the gratuity act. Under the gratuity act, there is a requirement. Then in that situation, we had to appoint for all our field offices the employer for that particular premises. Payment of wages act, migrant labor, maternity, industrial dispute act, employment, equal remuneration, sexual harassment. Today it's becoming a bone of contention for everybody. Her organization, whether it is manufacturing or no, sexual harassment is one of the areas where all, even the big wigs are behind bar. But it is not sector specific or industry specific law. Employees compensation, trade union, and then state laws, state rules. So what I am suggesting to my secretarial auditor, please with folded hands, look into all these things. Give me a comfort that my company is complying with all this. If you can do that for me, I will really feel that yes, you have done a secretarial audit for me. Otherwise, there is no point. You see today, where our struggle is? On the one hand, the company is getting the statutory audit done. I had a company like ours, who is from very beginning with Big Fours. So we have a particular standard of that audit.
फील्ड ऑफिस में रिजर्वेशन पॉलिसी कैसे इम्प्लीमेंट करें?
सर वो कांग्रेस पे. सो एक तरफ वो ऑडिट है जिसमें कंपनी सब कुछ दिखाने को तैयार है और कितने भी एफर्ट्स डालने को तैयार है और कितनी भी फीस देने को तैयार है. And as a professional body, we are competing with that. कि CA इंस्टीट्यूट एक सेक्रेटरियल स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट करती है और उनके पास इतना बड़ा पोर्टफोलियो है कि उनके जितने भी मेंबर्स हैं, एवरीबडी इज हैप्पी, एवरीबडी हैज वर्क. वी एज इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ कंपनी सेक्रेटरी, हमारे पास भी उस तरह का ही रुतबा होना चाहिए, उस तरह का ही काम होना चाहिए, उस तरह की इमेज होनी चाहिए. तो क्या हमारे एफर्ट्स उस तरह के नहीं होने चाहिए? सेक्रेटरियल जब स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिटर मेरा आता है, ये तो सेक्रेटरियल ऑडिटर तो इस बार आना शुरू हुआ है. जब स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिटर आता है, वो कंपनी सेक्रेटरी की सारी कंप्लायंसेस देखता है मेरे यहाँ पे. यहां तक देखता है कि कितने चार्जेस आपने क्रिएट किए हैं, कौन कौन से चार्जेस आपने क्रिएट किए हैं. आप अपना मेंबर रजिस्टर दिखाइए, आप अपने डायरेक्टर्स का रजिस्टर दिखाइए. ईच एंड एवरी कंप्लायंस अंडर द कंपनी है, प्लीज लुक आफ्टर. इट इज नॉट इज एरिया अदरवाइज. वो क्यों देख रहा है? और जब वो ऑडिट करने आता है तो कंपनी सेक्रेटरी मुझे भी लगता है हाँ यार ऑडिट हो रही है, अब इस ऑडिट की मुझे तैयारी करनी पड़ेगी. आई हैव टू डू माय होमवर्क. एंड आई ऑल्सो आस्क माय टीम के देख लो कोई कमी तो नहीं रहेगी आपका यहाँ पे, क्योंकि वो जब आएंगे ऑडिट करने के लिए दे विल कैच दैट. अगर स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिटर सेक्रेटरियल का रिकॉर्ड आके देख सकता है तो सेक्रेटरियल ऑडिटर जाके मेरी अकाउंट्स में वो कमी देख सकता है कि मैंने क्या क्या ट्रांजेक्शन की है, जहां पे कुछ लॉ का इंपैक्ट है या लॉ की कोई इंटरफेरेंस है या लॉ की कोई एप्लीकेबिलिटी है. मैं वहां जाके क्यों ना देखूं? सो इफ आई हैव टू कंपेयर माई सेल्फ विद दैट काइंड ऑफ at that platform, so मुझे भी अपने अंदर वही कैपेबिलिटी पैदा करनी पड़ेगी, उतने ही एफर्ट्स करने पड़ेंगे. If I can't do that, then I will not be doing justice to the job. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any further questions,